Hi Hunters, Marneus here. With Arch-Tempered Rey Dau already shaking up builds, it's clear we're stepping into the next phase of Monster Hunter Wilds. And with it, I'm hoping to see 4 more Arch-Tempered monsters get their moment. Duna, Nu Udra, Jin Dahaad, and Arkveld. In this video, I want to talk about what I wish their Gamma armors could be. We'll use AT Rey Dau Gamma as a baseline to imagine what kind of upgrades we might get. New set bonuses, enhanced skill levels, maybe even fresh traits that open up exciting possibilities, especially for us Gunlance mains. Just a heads up, this is a speculation and wishlist video. None of this is confirmed, and it's entirely based on patterns, personal hopes, and theory crafting. At the end of the day, what Capcom decides is anyone's guess, but dreaming is half the fun. So if you enjoy build crafting, thinking ahead, or just geeking out about armor potential, let's dive in. Let's kick things off with Duna. All 4 Apex monsters in Wilds seem to revolve around a key offensive skill. For example, Rey Dau's Gamma set leans heavily into latent power. For Duna, I think the most fitting offensive skill is peak performance. Looking at the regular Duna set, we already get Tool Specialist and peak performance, but not at max level. So for the Gamma version, I expect both of these skills to be fully maxed out. The original set bonus, which increases your defense while a mantle is equipped, will likely stay unchanged, just like with AT Rey Dau. But here's where things get interesting. For the group set bonus, I really hope Capcom doesn't just copy-paste Guts or Tenacity across all the Apex armors. Instead, I'd love to see something unique to Duna Gamma. And here's my idea. A new group skill that allows you to equip a second mantle. And while wearing any mantle, your health is always treated as full. That means peak performance stays active 100% of the time, even if you've taken damage. That's huge for both offense and survivability. Imagine running Mending Mantle and Rocksteady back to back. Now, to keep it balanced, I'd suggest a drawback. Maybe something like increased mantle cooldowns or taking more damage when you're not wearing a mantle. This would encourage you to run full Tool Specialist to offset the penalty. It's a bit demanding, but fair considering the power it offers. Next up, Nu Udra. This one's all about resentment, one of the most underutilized offensive skills in Monster Hunter Wilds in my opinion. Resentment boosts your attack power when you've got recoverable damage. That's the red portion of your health bar. But here's the problem. There's currently no consistent way to maintain that red health unless you're taking damage or standing in lava. And even then, it naturally heals over time. That makes resentment pretty unreliable. And by extension, it also hurts Nu Udra's set bonus, Bad Blood, which only activates when resentment is up. It's unfortunate because Bad Blood is actually a fantastic damage bonus. And as a Gunlance main who loves to face tank, I'd say Bad Blood is my blood. So how do we fix it? I think the Nu Udra Gamma armor has a perfect opportunity to bring resentment back into the spotlight. Here's my idea for the group skill bonus. Give us a passive red health gauge. Just like Second Wind from Guardian Fulgur Anjanith gave us an extra stamina bar. In this case, it's recoverable health instead. That red health would immediately activate resentment, and in turn Bad Blood, without needing to take damage or rely on hazards. This would make the whole set much more reliable and synergistic for aggressive playstyles. Now for the trade-off. I'd suggest a drawback where you slowly take chip damage over time when a monster is nearby. And to keep yourself alive, you need to keep attacking to trigger passive healing, encouraging constant offense. That risk-reward dynamic fits Nu Udra's theme perfectly. And honestly, it might be the thing that finally makes resentment a real contender in Wilds. Of all 4 Apex sets, Jin Dahaad's armor is probably the most used, and honestly, for good reason. Its set bonus, Binding Counter, gives you a solid attack boost after recovering from web status, frostblight, being pinned, or a power clash. And for weapons that can guard, like Gunlance, that's a huge plus. Now, combine that with Agitator, one of the most universally useful offensive skills in the game, and you've got a set that's both powerful and flexible across a wide range of builds. But it's not without its flaws. You can't really control when Binding Counter activates, meaning you're at the mercy of the monster. And not every monster can Frostblight, Web, Pin, or Power Clash. That inconsistency, yeah, that's why some hunters skip this armor in favor of more reliable sets. So here's what I'd love to see for the Gamma version's group skill. When you're near a monster, you'll gradually build up Frostblight. To prevent it from triggering, you've got to stay active. Dodge, attack, move, just don't stand still. If you successfully clear the buildup, it'll count as recovering from Frostblight, instantly activating Binding Counter. And here's the kicker. When Binding Counter activates, Agitator kicks in too, bundled right into the group skill. But, of course, there's a catch. The Frostblight builds up faster than normal, and if it actually activates, you'll recover much more slowly. And no, Nullberries won't help you here. It's all about movement, momentum, and making the most out of every aggressive window you get. Alright, now on to the final one, Arkveld. As we know, Arkveld has two armor variants, the standard and the Guardian version. But for this speculation, we're focusing on the standard Arkveld set. Because lore-wise, Guardian Arkveld no longer exists, at least from what we've seen. And that means only Arkveld is eligible for an Arch-Tempered variant. Now, Arkveld's core identity revolves around two key skills, Elemental Absorption and Convert Element, which tie directly to Arkveld's lore. The idea is, when you take elemental damage, you absorb part of it, convert it into your own elemental power, and raise your resistance, especially to Dragon Element. Add in the armor set bonus Hasten Recovery, and you've got a solid setup for burst healing and continuous uptime. So it's safe to say that the Gamma version will feature maxed out Elemental Absorption and Convert Element, with Hasten Recovery likely remaining unchanged. But let's talk about the group skill, what would really push this set over the edge. Right now, Elemental Absorption and Convert Element have internal cooldowns, meaning you can't constantly trigger their effects back to back. So what if the Gamma group skill removed that cooldown entirely? Imagine tanking multiple elemental attacks in a row, and each one not only boosting your elemental power and resistance, but also triggering a Dragon Element explosion after enough buildup. You can literally explode with damage from multiple Elemental Absorption and Convert Element activation. Of course, it needs a drawback. So here's my take. Anytime you're hit by elemental damage, you also get inflicted with Dragon Blight, on top of whatever status that elemental attack already carries. And while Dragon Blight is active, you take increased damage from all sources. This would force you to play carefully, guard and evade on time, or pay the price. It's a high-risk, high-reward setup, perfect for the tank playstyle. And as a Gunlance main, yeah, I'm all in. And that wraps up my wish list for the upcoming Arch-Tempered Gamma armors, Duna, Nu Udra, Jin Dahaad, and Arkveld. From double mantles to passive red health, self-inflicted frostblight to high-risk, high-reward bonuses, these are the kinds of creative mechanics I'd love to see Capcom experiment with. Of course, this is all just speculation. What we actually get might be totally different, but dreaming big is half the fun of theory crafting, right? Let me know in the comments which Gamma armor idea was your favorite. What kind of set bonus would you want to see for your weapon of choice? If you enjoyed this kind of speculative deep dive, a like and subscribe really helps the channel grow. I'm Marneus, and I'll catch you in the next hunt. Stay sharp, hunters.